Hello everyone. So in this video, I want to teach you how to configure your web server correctly and talk a little bit about what the configuration entails. Eventually, we'll look at the configuration file in a little bit more detail, but for now, we just want to make sure that you can really look at the error messages uh, when you are programming for this for PHP. So the first thing you need to be aware of is of anything that you need to do with the system is going to be inside the XAMPP folder where you installed. If you looked at our installation video, you saw that I installed in my computer on the C drive on the XAMPP folder. So in this case, I'm just gonna click on my file explorer. I'm gonna go to this PC, the C drive, the XAMPP folder, and then within the XAMPP folder, I see a lot of other folders as well. The only folder that we really need to worry about is one called htdocs. htdocs is where your web server is located. So if I go inside of this folder, everything that's here is what htdocs, is what your web server contains right now. So right now there are files already placed in this. So if I try to go to my web server, I'm going to see something already, whatever this index.php file is doing. So in that case, I'm gonna open my favorite browser, Google Chrome, and then from Google Chrome, I'm going to type localhost. As long as the server is running on XAMPP, the Apache, then I'm able to access the local host, which then loads the files inside of this htdocs. By typing localhost and pressing enter, notice that it automatically takes me into the dashboard folder, which contains then a lot of documentation. So notice it looks like that website, the Apache Friends, but in reality, those are just the files inside of this dashboard. That's what the index is doing. It's loading the files in there. So here they have the guides if you need to do something, right? If you need to search for something. But we're not interested on this stuff they have in there. So what I'm gonna do is within my htdocs, I'm gonna create a new folder. I don't like deleting stuff that was already in there. So I'll put XAMPP documentation. I'll just create this folder and all the other things I'm going to throw inside of the XAMPP documentation. This way, if one day I want to go back to this page, I can access it that way. But now, if I try to load localhost once again, notice it shows index of. It's showing me that there is this folder that I can see. Later on, we'll figure out how to not make these appear. But basically, right now, it's looking for an index.php file. So I might as well create it. I'm gonna create it using a text document as a text document. I'm gonna call it index. I need to change the extension though to PHP. So I'll click View, File Name Extensions, and I'll replace .text with .php to create this PHP file. You can edit this PHP file in whatever web editor you like. You can edit it in brackets. You can edit it in Atom. You can edit it in Sublime. You can edit wherever you want. You can just use Notepad if you want. I'm gonna use Notepad++. So here I'm just gonna put PHP. just like we did before. And the simple function I'm gonna do is php info. I'm just gonna call this function because I wanna see what settings are already there for php info. So that's the code. I'm making sure that I'm doing save. Make sure it's saved. And then I'm gonna go to localhost once again on my browser. Notice that now I see all of the information that is set up on PHP, and there is a lot of it. Configuration information, the Apache environment, etc. The only thing I'm concerned right now is whether you can see error messages or not. And to do that, you're gonna have to search this document. So you can do that by pressing Ctrl F if you're on Windows. Ctrl F allows me to search, and I'm going to search for display underscore errors. And I want to make sure that this says on, because I want to be able to see an error message here if my PHP code is incorrect. So in this case, display errors is on, so we are okay. In case yours says off for whatever reason, then you must go into our configuration file for Apache. So I'm gonna click on config, and in this case, it's the PHP information, the PHP ini file that we need to look at. Notice that the PHP ini file has a lot of lines of text, and this is our configuration information. It has documentation telling you what each of these parts means. Most of the times you're not gonna even play with a lot of this. But what I'm wanting to see is whether display errors is okay. So I can do again a Control F and look for display underscore errors and find next. Notice you'll find display errors right here. It's telling me that the default value is on, the development value is on, and the production value is off. So I can look for it again, and notice that over here, in this line that is not commented, the semicolon means comment. So display errors equals on is set for us. If yours is not on, if yours says off, just replace the word off with the word on and then save this file. Alright, so then after you save, you might want to stop your Apache and start it again just to ensure that the settings were, the configurations were loaded. And then you want to go to localhost again and make sure, well, it's not going to reload really, but you would refresh and make sure that display errors is now appearing as on. Once you have that, you're ready to go. You can create your PHP scripts. All right. Now, just to make sure you understand how this is gonna work, is that from now on, every time you're developing at home, what you want to do is you want your files to be inside htdocs. If you want to, you can create folders. For now, I'm just gonna create a new file again, new text document, and I'm gonna just do test.php, for example. I'll save it and I'll edit. I'll create a very simple program over here. PHP with our delimiters, and I'm just gonna echo. And now I want to echo is hello everyone. All right, just something silly. Now, if I want to test this file, you can't just open the file. You can't just right click and send it to the browser. You can't just drag it to your browser and try to open it. That won't work. If you try to access like this, it won't do anything. You have to access it from the server. So you have to use localhost. Localhost again represents the htdocs folder. So if I want to access a file inside this folder, I will do localhost / and then I'll do the name of the file. So in this case, I want to do test PHP and press enter. Notice that that shows me hello everyone, which is the contents of test.php. Now, for me, in my opinion, it's a bad practice that you have all of the PHP files in the same folder. So I think it would be smarter for you to create a new folder, right? And then name it whatever it is that you're doing. So, for example, this might be, um, this might be, let's say, example example folder. Notice I'm gonna use camel case. You don't need to. I'm not gonna use camel case. Let's just do example folder. And then inside of example folder, I'm gonna create again. I mean, I could do it directly from here. Uh, so I can do file, save, and then I can go into, I'm writing htdocs. I'll save it to examples folder. I'll save this as a PHP file and we're gonna name this um, another test.php and um, let's do PHP and again echo hooray I'm I am in a folder just to just to make sure we got the idea. So then now, if we look back at our files, we are at htdocs. Inside of htdocs, we have example folder. Remember that localhost represents htdocs. So if you want to go and see what's happening with another test.php, all we have to do is do localhost / the name of the folder, example folder / and then the name of the file, another test.php. Notice that the website now shows, hooray, I'm in a folder. So that's opening this file. So using this process is how you should be doing your PHP now. Again, you can use whatever text editors you like. However, now that we have display errors on, if I have an error in one of these lines, for example, line 2, and I try to run this code, notice it's gonna tell me the error. Parse error, syntax error, unexpected in line 2 in this document over here. So it tells you the document, it tells you the line. So now I can go back here and check, oh yeah, I forgot the O in echo. And then I can go back, refresh, and then it's fine. Alright, so that's the idea in there. So I hope this is helpful and I hope you were able to install. Please, if you were not able to complete one of the steps, let me know right away. And if you're able to install, please also let me know as soon as possible. Um, and I'll see you next class. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Take care.